The presentation of explosive colors were in display above Citizens Bank Park last night, right after the Phillies finished their offensive display inside for a fourth straight win, completing the first half of the 2016 schedule. It's another milepost in the 2016 season. Usually at this point of the year, when we reach the midway point of a baseball season, we're celebrating the 4th of July, which means picnics, barbecues, and of course, a little baseball. Weekends with Schmidt, presented by Acme Markets, finds us at Citizens Bank Park for the Phils and the Kansas City Royals. Last night was game number 81, so we essentially begin the second half today. Some of the numbers from the first half. Offensively, we know the challenges the Phillies have had. One bright spot, though, they've gone from 15th in average to 11th over the last couple of weeks, but the starters' ERA has gone higher, and the bullpen ERA has gone a little higher over the last couple weeks. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Mike Schmidt and Matt Stairs. The Phillies are on pace to win 72 games. Whether you think that's good or not, it certainly is an improvement from last year, and there have been a number of areas where they've improved. And Matt, let's first start with some of the players and where their improvement has come and how their impact has been felt for this ball club.
Well, one guy I think is the MVP of the first half is Jeanmar Gomez. He's a guy coming into spring training who's going to be probably the 7th guy for the 7th inning guy. But all he's done this year, he's gone out and he says, all right, I'm going to be the closer, but I'm not going to go out there and absolutely destroy guys with a good fastball or that swing and a slider. He relies on using a very good sinker. At times he'll mix in a slider, which I think is a show pitch. He also throws a split finger fastball, but the way he attacks hitters, he thinks knees down. He throws a lot of fastballs. He gets a lot of weak ground balls. He relies on his defense behind him. And that's the key for guys that aren't overpowering. They rely and trust their defense behind them and do what they do best by getting ground balls. I just love the fact that he goes out and pounds the strike zone day in and day out, and nothing bothers him. Take a look at the numbers this year, 36 games. All the great numbers up there, 22 for 24 in saves, but it's 9 walks. It's very impressive. Now, this is a guy coming into the season this year who had 4 career saves. Now he's 22 for 24 this year.
Well, and the Phillies have 19 one-run victories this season. Those walks are a huge key when you have so many one-run games. All right, on the flip side, we can talk all we want about the players, but why have they been better this year than last year?
Well, my take is it's all about Pete Mackanin. All due respect to Mr. Gomez and Odubel and Hector Neris and several of the guys who have turned it around recently are now headed in the right direction offensively. Pete has had a tremendous blend of personality and patience. As you know, here you see the graphic. Pete has been given a tough assignment this year. Look at the average age of the starting pitchers, the average age of the bullpen. And what really stands out to me is 75 different starting lineups this year. Now, if it weren't for his patience and his personality and his free and easy spirit, you know, guys like Goodell wouldn't have developed who they have now, and Borgios may not have come back to be the hitter he is now. Cameron Rupp's really turned it around. You know, it's just Hernandez, of course, is hitting the ball well right now. We brought Tommy Joseph up. He's had to deal with the Ryan Howard situation. He's been great with the media through all this. He's been great with the team through all this. So I want to put my credit on his shoulders for the first half.
Well, we all know he's been great to be around. As you said, he is light, he is funny, and he definitely keeps things loose. But he's got a competitive spirit as well. Tonight's starting pitchers, it'll be Aaron Nola. You talk about a guy that's trying to turn things around as we begin the second half, making his 17th start. And Danny Duffy, who began the year as a reliever, back in the starting rotation for the Royals, making his 10th start of 2016. Well, Mike mentioned Odubel Herrera. Boy, he's been refreshing as the leadoff hitter for the Phillies. He's fun to watch. He brings that energy. We'll talk about his impact on this Phillies ball club when we return to Citizens Bank Park. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota. Get big savings at Toyota's Red, White, and Blue Sales event. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank. The next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. Delaware Valley, and it's going to culminate tonight with a little baseball and then some fireworks. The Phils and the Royals. The lefty Danny Duffy, who has really pitched well as a starter for the Royals against Aaron Nola, trying to figure some things out, trying to figure the strike zone out a little bit with his command as he gets set for this start here tonight against the Kansas City Royals. The first half is in the books, 81 games down, 81 to go during the regular season. We talked about Jenmar Gomez. We talked about Pete Mackanin. All right, Murph, so who's spearheading this offense for the Phillies as we get ready for the second half?
Well, I think you have to start with one name and one name only, and that is Odubel Herrera, and that's exactly where Pete Mackanin's lineup has been starting on a daily basis. Early in the season, he was moved into that leadoff role and really has been a perfect fit. He's a guy that could probably bat in a couple of different spots in this lineup, but Pete has him up at the top, and it has worked for him. He has been the table setter. You take a look at last night. It's just a perfect example of what he's able to do. Leads off the game, second pitch of the game, sends that one to deep left center field for the home run, his first leadoff home run of his career. And then in the sixth inning, the base hit that played Cesar Hernandez. 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs last night, 2 more hits for Odubel Herrera, and he just keeps on going. The offensive numbers are impressive. First and foremost, he's a guy you can count on every game. He's played 80 of the 81 games. There you see the batting average. The power numbers are up from a year ago. He's got the stolen bases, the RBIs as well, and the on-base percentage. He's walked a lot early in the season, doing whatever he needs to do to help this team win. And you know what, guys? At the end of it, it might just actually lead to an all-star berth. He'll find out that on Tuesday. But right now, I got to believe that when you look at this Phillies roster, he's your #1 choice to represent them in San Diego.
Well, he certainly has put himself in position. He signed some autographs, now getting ready for tonight's ball game. The Phils and the Royals, lineups and first pitch when we come back. Get this game started. There's Aaron in the dugout. He's come back from getting himself warmed up and ready to go, making his first start against the Kansas City Royals. Little interleague action. Looks like he's set. He's going to pop out and lead his team out onto the field as we kick off game #2 of this series between the Phillies and the Kansas City Royals. The umpires have already gotten the lineup cards. They've exchanged them at home plate. Let's take a look at the Royals starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Leading it off is Alex Gordon in left field. Whit Merrifield, the second baseman, bats second. Kendrys Morales hits third, followed by Eric Hosmer and Salvador Perez. Chesler Cuthbert, the third baseman, hits sixth. The bottom third of Escobar, Dyson, and Danny Duffy. And they will face the right-hander Aaron Nola. Nola comes into this ball game again searching a little bit. He hasn't gotten out of the fourth inning in his last 4 starts. He's 5-7 with an ERA of 4.45. Good strikeouts, but Matt, the walks, hits per innings pitched, they're creeping up. 91 innings, and he's allowed 94 hits and 22 walks.
Yeah, and it all starts to do with his command of his fastball. His fastball has been up in the zone. He's not having that good tail out of the zone and getting a lot of ground balls. Take a look at the scouting report. He is a 3-pitch pitcher. The 176 batting average versus his curveball is still very good. But you know what, Tom and Mike? Second half, you turn the page, you forget about the first half.
Well, I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to clear his mind as we get set for the second half to get underway. Let's take a look at our Nissan keys to the game. Matt, let's start out with you.
Well, for me today, you're facing Duffy, who throws very hard. Got to make sure you get the fastball down in the zone. He lives at the top of the strike zone, so think low.
And Mike, we talked about getting the second half.
Yeah, Matt just said it. Forget about the first half and look forward optimistically to the second half. Set some lofty goals for yourself individually. You know it's a team game, but you got to perform individually. You know, start thinking about where you want to be at the end of the year and work hard to get to that point.
Well, Aaron Nola will face Alex Gordon, Whit Merrifield, and Kendrys Morales to start things off. Pete Maccannon's team won 19 one-run games in the first half of the season. Last night was a crisp game for the Phillies. Ned Yost's squad made it interesting with the Kendrys Morales home run. Pete joked today. He said, "Yeah, I was just trying to get it to another one-run victory."
He did it.
Yeah, yes, he did. Well, Nola's first 12 starts, 5-4 with an ERA of 2.65. Last 4 starts with a no decision the last time out, an ERA of 15.23. And he is ready to go. Last time he went 3 1/3. He allowed 10 hits and 5 earned runs. One of his big issues has been first inning runs. He's allowed 15 this year. And the first pitch is outside, so we're underway. Alex Gordon 1 for 3 last night. His numbers overall: 5 homers and 11 runs batted in. Off speed pitch, no, fastball, 1-1. Good location.
Had the good movement like an off-speed pitch.
It was going down and away to the lefty,
which is nice to see.
I think an interesting point is Chooch being behind the plate too. I'm glad to see that. Take nothing away from Cameron, but you know, he's looking for some confidence right now, getting through these first 3 or 4 innings. Chooch will play a big part in pitch selection.
Yeah, Carlos caught the last time out. It was the first time that he had ever caught Aaron, aside from a stint in the minors and in spring training. There's Cameron Rupp, who's been a red-hot hitter for the Phillies.
Ooh, man, we'll talk about him later, but that's some serious hitting this young man's doing.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Gordon. Swing and a miss. He got it with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, so 1 away. A refreshing start for Nola.
That's a good sign.
Well, the strikeout's a good sign. Missing the target, not so much. Supposed to be a fastball inside, but he did have that very good movement. You can see the 2-seam grip right there. Actually, very late on it.
Well, with 1 away, here's Whit Merrifield. Merrifield 3-11 on the year. He had a couple hits in last night's ball game with a run scored. Out of the University of South Carolina.
Sounds like a name out of Downton Abbey or something.
You're right. A liner out to left field. That one's going toward the corner. It is off the 4 in 334. And Merrifield will pull into second base with his 12th double of the year. Last night was his 16th 2-hit game. And he is aboard with 1 out.
Ball was scorched, Matt. I watched a game last night, and a lot of these young Kansas City hitters look real good from that center field camera. You know, the nice mechanics from the center field camera, and some serious batting averages too.
What I find, and we talked about him last night, was Merrifield has his setup is very quiet. He just throws the barrel. You know, that's the key. Morales, he has quite a bit of movement, but that's a timing mechanism for him. But for a lot of the Kansas City Royals hitters, they're quiet to the baseball.
First pitch to Morales is a strike. Speaking of him, he's the one that made it a 1-run game in yesterday's ball game.
Yeah, he turned on this fastball inside, 93-mile-an-hour heater. No problems keeping that fair and keeping it pretty deep to right.
Morales 262 with 11 homers and 39 RBIs. There's the first curveball of the night. And that one sails outside.
Good comparison, Matty. Last night you were talking about Freddie and the movement he has now with his new stance. He's back to that foot being wide on the white line with his front leg, left-handed, just like he is right-handed. Here's a hitter right here that's got a lot of movement too. But the difference is, like you said last night, the head's not moving forward.
Right.
And the foot's getting down early, and he's kind of staying tall through his swing. And Freddie, sometimes it all happens too late and too quick.
Yeah, that's so important for hitters to keep their head as still as possible.
Outside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. It's another curveball that sails outside.
Right, yeah. You know, we didn't see him throw one that wild, I don't think, his first 10 starts.
No, and it's not a very good pitch, but look at the take. See how he got his foot down and all the weight stayed back? That's what happens when you're seeing the ball very well and you're thinking about letting it deep.
Yeah, he took a lot of off-speed pitches in the game last night, standing tall in the rec. Hands never even moved. By the reason he's hitting 400, right, for the last month.
Broke his bat. Looper into foul territory. Franco gives it a look, and he can't get it. And it's 3-2. The sound of a splintered bat.
Beautiful sound to the opposing pitcher.
Oof.
He's just thinking, man, slice away, slice away.
Some of those bats, Matt, remember, you want to keep them. You know, they were so good to you for so long. When they go out, you almost want to have a little ceremony for them, right?
Merrifield takes his lead off second. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Morales. And a fastball in, ball 4. So he's reached base safely. And 2 runners on, and Eric Hosmer will be the batter.
Number 35, first baseman Eric Hosmer.
Well, I think getting through the first inning, if there's a chance he can do it, will be a huge mental boost for Aaron Nola.
I would agree. And I think if Aaron Nola had the confidence in his curveball, you'd see a first pitch curveball right now.
Hosmer hitting .305 with 12 homers. As Nola steps back, he was 1 for 4 with a double in yesterday's game.
You know, not the worst thing in the world, not challenging Morales with a ball right down the middle in that situation. Try to make a good pitch, jam him again, just like when he broke his bat. Hosmer hit a couple of ground balls last night that would be perfect right now.
1 ball and no strikes to him. See, the Phillies are set up to try to turn 2. It's Andres Blanco who's at shortstop tonight. And Cesar Hernandez at second base. That's the double play combination. A bit outside, 2-0. How much do you worry that the doubt creeps into a pitcher's mind when he falls behind and there's 2 runners on?
Well, it's an interesting thing for us to think is going on right now. You know, when we get him to the 4th or 5th inning and he's not giving up any runs, we won't be talking about it. But I'm sure that, you know, I'm sure he's, I want to say, a little anxious right now.
Which is normal. I mean, as hitters, you go through slumps and you feel terrible at home plate. And you take a first pitch fastball away for one, and all of a sudden you take another strike, and you're like, well, here we go again, I'm 0-2. And how many times does that come across your mind as a hitter? A ton. But there's a lot of times, too, where it takes 1 pitch, 1 swing, where all of a sudden you can lock it back in.
Off speed pitch, and it's 2-2. We had Hosmer sitting almost fastball there with the count 2-2. Dan Bellino is behind the plate tonight. Toby Bassner at first. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, at second. And Phil Cuzzy is around at third.
You know, you hate to say it, but at bats like the one he's in right now are keys to the game. For me, this at bat early in the game is very important to Nola's psyche.
The dribbler right of the mound. Nola's off and has it. And he gets the out at first. 2 outs. Runners on second and third. The runners do move up.
You know, you made a good point last night. You guys were talking about the Royals, and one of their reasons for success in the World Championship last year was that they don't strike out much, right? They work a lot of walks, but there's 900 and some strikeouts, which is crazy low number, right?
300 below the league average.
Right. Last year, there's a perfect example right now. Now, your 4-hole hitter didn't rope a double or anything like that, but he did not strike out, and he ended up putting it in play, moved 2 men and run in scoring position.
And it brings up Salvador Perez, who was 0 for 3 last night, hit by a pitch. Curveball, that's the best one so far.
It's the best one so far because it's the only one he's thrown for a strike.
Well, I was trying to be a little optimistic, but you're right. Yeah, I couldn't choose out of the other 2. A 1 pitch, a curveball. That's the best one so far. And it's 0-2. Actually, I think the other one was better.
Well, and it was. And I think if we look at so far in the first inning, he's thrown 19 pitches. He's missed his target probably 3 times. You know, that curveball there was up in the zone. The Gordon fastball came back in the middle of the plate. But on the road trip, those balls were getting crushed.
Absolutely.
And maybe it's a nice little seeing thing right now where they're fouling him off or swinging through them.
No balls and 2 strikes to Perez. Let's see what Carlos calls for here. Breaking ball lifted in the air. Shallow center field. Hernandez is under it. Backpedaling. Makes the catch. And Aaron Nola gets out of the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. We'll head to the bottom of the first. The Royals nothing. The Phillies coming up. For Odubel Herrera and the Phillies against the Kansas City Royals here tonight. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. It'll be Odubel, then Peter Borges. Andres Blanco bats third, then Maikel Franco hits fourth. Tommy Joseph is mired in somewhat of a slump, and he's batting 5th tonight. Carlos Ruiz 6th. The bottom third of Goodell. In left, Hernandez at second base, and Aaron Nola on the mound. And they will face the left-hander Danny Duffy, the 27-year-old. Former 3rd-round pick of the Royals, was an excellent starting pitcher for them in 2014. Got hurt at the end of the year. This year he started in the bullpen, but is back in the rotation, and Matty's been pretty darn good.
He's been very good, and the reason why is he just has the confidence now. He's been able to throw all 3 pitches for strikes, and he has a tremendous fastball.
And he likes the fastball, too. He throws it most of the time. Works from the stretch at all times. And the first pitch fastball was up against Odubel.
Take a look at the scouting report. He averages 95.7 on his heater. He is a 3-pitch pitcher, but since May 15th, when he got put back in the starting rotation, the leg's hitting .079 versus his changeup and .097 versus his slider. That's pretty good.
A foul over the Royals dugout, and it's 1-1. Odubel homered in his first at bat last night. First time he'd ever led off the first inning with a home run. I don't think it'll be his last time. So he's done his last 5 games. Just talking to him the last couple of days, he knows his on-base percentage is under 400 right now. He knows.
That's good, really.
That it's close, yeah.
Well, lofty goals. Second half, get that thing up over 400. What?
I don't think he was looking. I don't think he saw the rotation of that slider.
Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Marion King of Mount Laurel. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Marion will win $100. Stop by McDonald's today and enjoy the new McPick 2 for $2.50 menu. I'm loving it. Fastball, broken bat looper, and caught by Hosmer over at first.
Well, that one splintered all over the place.
It did.
But you know what? Good hitters get jammed. I don't mind seeing that in a hitter. I mean, like Cameron Rupp last night got that jam shot fly ball that you didn't know was fair down the right field line. That's because he was, getting in there with it, man. He was moving into the ball and check swing and broke his bat. I mean, guys pulling off the ball don't get jammed very much, right?
No, I would agree.
Peter Borges takes high. It's 1-0. Larry Anderson told a story, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about Billy Doran. Remember Billy Doran, the second baseman for the Astros? Yeah. He said Billy Doran was mired in a huge slump, and there was one time where he came back to the dugout and he was all smiles after an out. As that one is lined toward left center field for Borges. That's a guy that's not slumping right now. It's off the State Farm side and it trickles away from Dyson. And Borges isn't trickling anywhere. He's speeding to third, and he's in there sliding with a 1-out triple.
That boy can run.
Into the open field.
I'll tell you, I had to go ask Peter in the clubhouse earlier this afternoon. So tell me what the difference is, dude. We spent a lot of time together, and he said, well, I'm just not over swinging at the ball. And you see that easy swing there, Matt? Just a nice, easy, flick at the ball, and it goes off the wall. Golly, hitters need to know that.
Yeah. And that's why we talked about last night, Odubel Herrera hitting that home run to left center. He didn't overswing.
Right.
That ball jumped off that bat and just took off. And that's why Peter's been having success.
I'll tell you, a whole world of hitting can open up to him now if he knows that he does not have to overswing.
Well, it's now an 11-game hitting streak for him. His career high is 12. He's at third for Andres Blanco. Blanco takes, and it's 0-1. Anyway, back to that Billy Doran story. Billy was jammed when he came back to the dugout, and he was smiling because he told Larry Anderson, he said, I'm back. I've got it back now. After having a long slump, as you see Borges' numbers in June and now these first couple of days of July.
Yeah, he felt good because he got jammed. It wasn't hitting it off the end and rolling over and swinging and missing.
Ground ball to third. Borges will hold up at third. Blanco's retired, 2 outs.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. Whitey won't be happy about that. It's the old, now that it's happened over, you go, God, if I just hit that ball up the middle at second base, we got an RBI. I've never rolled over with a man on third.
I think I was king of pop-ups to the catcher with a man on third.
Here's Franco. He's starting to heat up a little bit. He had 2 hits in yesterday's game. They also worked around him a couple of times. And he takes just a bit low. It's 1-0. By the way, Borges from home plate to third, 10.5 seconds. He might be arriving at first base at that point.
Well, you're going to have to give us the major league average or something for us to.
All right, let me get you that. 1-0 pitch to Franco. Fouled back to the screen. It's 1-1. I will tell you, it's ahead of the major league average.
Yeah, no question.
Who's the one that hit the inside the park home run the other day? Fifth, no, it was
Puig.
Yes, 15 point some seconds from home to home.
15?
15 seconds.
Yeah, just over 15, right?
That was on the single 3-base error.
Yeah, it was one of those
walk off.
Those phone calls to Grandpa from Little League. I hit a home run. I ran the whole way. Back over the mound, off the glove of Duffy, but he's going to recover and throw wide to the first base bag. Franco is caught. He'll stay there. A run scores. It's 1-0 Phillies.
That's going to be an interesting score call there. Tom's got thumbs up. He gave him a hit.
Well, it's been scored a hit.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, he's out fairly easily, isn't he?
I think if the throw's clean. Well, the whole dive slowed him down a little bit.
There wasn't 2 strikes, but ball in play, anything can happen, right?
That's right. Another 2-out knock.
I think a good throw has him.
But they're assuming that the throw was a bad throw because he was forced to hurry. He was off balance.
Correct. It was not a normal play, I guess is how they say it, to paraphrase. 0-1 to Tommy Joseph. Tommy 0 for his last 14. Check swing, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, the old clinch check swing on a breaking ball like that sometimes is a good indicator of a guy not hitting well. You know, he's jumping out at the ball a little bit, committing his hands forward.
Well, and also you think about when guys do check swings, like Tommy Joseph did in the second pitch, his whole upper body is turned towards shortstop, which means that he's not seeing the pitches very well.
Down the right field line. This is sometimes an adventure for Morales, but it's going to go out of play.
But I like that swing because you let the ball get a little deeper in the zone and you hit the ball to right field.
A little more top hands. All he needs.
If he takes the same approach as the second pitch and swings to that ball, he's going to hit a weak ground ball to the left side.
By the way, back to that Borgios double. How about that speed getting us around right there?
Yeah.
He's on third and he ends up scoring on an infield hit with 2 outs.
Yep.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Tommy Joseph. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter last night. Lays off. That's a tough pitch. It's 3-2.
That was a better take.
Yeah, that's a real good take.
Borges' run is 24th of the year. Followed his 1-out triple. Franco goes. 3-2 changeup swung on and missed to the side. He is retired. However, the Phillies do strike first. They get a run on the tapper off the bat of Michael Franco. We'll head to the second. It's 1-0 Phils. Time now for our Lowe's home field advantage, and the Phillies ended a 7-game losing streak last night. It was their first win since the 7th of June against the Cubs. 12 hits, the most at home since they had 13 against the Brewers on June 5th, and the 4 runs, the most since June 6th against the Cubs. That tells you how much the offense has been struggling. We begin the second, 1-0 Phillies, and Cheslor Cuthbert, who was 1 for 3 last night with an RBI. 269 hitter, 7 homers, 21 runs batted in.
That's a Nola I remember right there.
Backdoor fastball. Good movement down the zone.
I was really hoping that somebody was paying attention as that ball went into the crowd, because it was going in fast.
Hit that chair. Whoops. A little late. Hit that one chair. Nobody sitting in it.
Yeah, it's a nice crowd again tonight. Expecting fireworks afterward. There we go.
Right off that chair.
I don't blame that gentleman for getting up. 1-2 pitch to Cuthbert. Breaking ball.
Good breaking ball there. In fact, that's good hitting, getting a piece of that baby. But that's the way he was throwing them earlier on. You know, in sharp break, low. That's all he could basically do with that pitch, just get a piece.
It comes talking about their approach, the Kansas City Royals, of putting the ball in play.
Jude's tried to put a nice frame on that. I wonder if umpires ever talk to the catcher and say, "I cut that out." You're not getting me with that.
2-2 pitch. Outside, he tried it again. 3-2. Alcides Escobar is on deck. Cuthbert hails from Nicaragua. Not a lot of ball players who have come from Nicaragua. And a liner to center field. That'll be a base hit. Second hit of the night for the Royals. Alcides Escobar is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, obviously, part of the conversation over the last 5 days is how to get Aaron Nola right. Pete Maccannon's been asked that time and time again. What is wrong with Aaron, and what are they trying to do to fix it? And yesterday he said, look, honestly, we don't think there's anything wrong with him. We just think that, he's having a little problem with his command. Ball has been up in the zone. So what they did this week, they tried to get him out of his routine a little bit. They watched a little bit more video with Aaron to show him where his pitches were up in the zone as opposed to where they were earlier in the season. And secondly, instead of going out there and playing catch every day, they told him not to do that. He did throw his bullpen session, but on the daily routine of throwing catch, they did not want him having a catch. They did not want him tinkering with his mechanics because they think the mechanics are just fine. So they just sent him out there with a message tonight, and that is set your sights lower. That's what they want Aaron Nola to do with the help of Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. That's what he's attempting to do tonight, guys.
Yeah, because his expectations are always way up there. I mean, he's been successful everywhere he's been. High school, college, got through the minor leagues pretty quickly.
Well, he set a pretty high bar
yeah.
in his first 10 starts here, too.
Pete was also asked about, the first inning struggles. He said it's probably all part of it, 1 ball and no strikes to Escobar. He shows bunt, takes a curveball for a strike. It's 1-1. Can you buckle your knees on a bunt opportunity?
He just did.
Yeah, usually when you're dropping one on the third baseman, you want something middle away so you can already start your momentum across home plate. That one started at his left hip.
Curveball waved at 1-2. I think it for a young pitcher or a young player, it may not be bad every once in a while to do what Murph said, like disrupt your routine, because sometimes you need a little change in your routine.
Absolutely, you used to do it all the time. They don't do it much anymore, but many times I would just not hit. I'm just going to put the uniform on and go, just for a change of routine, like you said. Hit in the cage.
Not I.
Change your socks.
I did not miss a day hitting on the field. That was my game. I mean, really, it was, and I knew if I could take batting practice, and yes, I took batting practice totally different than most people. I tried to hit every ball out of the ballpark, and if I hit home runs in BP, I knew I had a free swing. If I didn't hit a home run in BP, oof, it was going to be a tough day.
Grumpy Matt.
Brutal.
Over toward the hole with shortstop, off the glove of Blanco, and it glances into left field. And Cuthbert will stop at second base. Infielders were cheating for 2, so that left that spot open. And for Escobar, that raises his hitting streak to 13 consecutive games. His career high is an 18-game hitting streak.
Yeah, that's the way the game goes. Right now he's struggling a little bit, and the ground ball that he gets right there, the double play ball, just happens to be like 10 feet too far to the right, and it turns into a single when it's really just a basically double play ball, not hit at the shortstop.
Well, the Phillies will think about turning 2 here, but this is one of the fastest guys in the game, in Gerard Dyson. They have the corners pinched in, but the pitcher up next, I don't know if he'd be up there to sacrifice, but he may be up there to bunt for a base hit because of his speed. Over to first base, and Tommy Joseph will field it in foul territory.
It gives you a look into the difference in the DH and the American League and not in the National League. The American League team normally is playing in this sort of first and second nobody out situation with a hitter, a hitter at the plate and a hitter on deck, whereas in the National League you have the the freedom of using the pitcher as an out, hopefully, in this situation, and they won't bunt the 8-hole guy now because the pitcher's there.
Curveball hit back toward the middle. Hernandez has trouble getting it out of his glove. They
There you go.
behind the runner at third, and he can't get him down. It was a good idea. And runners on first and third with 1 out.
A lot of good things happened on that play. First of all, Matty, Nola let the ball go. Right? I know he probably would have liked to have caught it, but it could have caromed off his glove. You see it on the replay right here. Boom. He's almost glad that he missed it. And then they had a little trouble with the close exchange there. And Blanco made a nice bare hand and turned to third because this guy, he runs so fast, you're not going to turn the double play.
Yeah, I think even if Hernandez had gotten out of his glove quickly, I don't think they would have turned the double play.
I concur.
Here's Danny Duffy, 0 for 10. Shows bunt, takes a ball, 1-0. I'm sorry, 0 for 10 for his career, 0 for 1 this year.
He's going old school, no batting gloves.
It's one of the reasons I believe that we've talked about it many times on the broadcast, that the DH should be in both leagues and should be a part of baseball. I mean, I'm a baseball purist myself. I know you guys probably are. But I mean, can you call this fair competition right here where the American League team has to come in and the pitcher has to hit?
He bunts it in the air. It's going to drop for a base hit. Everybody is safe. A run will score.
I guess you can call it fair.
I mean, I don't know what to say about that other than that's pure luck for one thing. Maybe if he did know how to bunt and hit, he might have laid down a good bunt. We could have made a play.
Well, that is his first major league hit. He gets his first major league RBI, and there are runners on first and second. That's remarkable to be able to bunt the ball like that. Not that he did it on purpose. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Oh,
he tried to bring it with him.
He did have a little swipe at it.
Yeah, he tried to bring that ball to the second base side.
Hey, yeah, but the other thing, he was moving up the line too. So it's a 1-1 game here in the top of the second. 4th hit for the Royals. Gordon fouls it. All right, if you're Aaron Nola, now you got to get the next guy. Gordon struck out his first time up. Good movement on that fastball in the inner half.
That was the pitch that struck him out his first at bat. Two-seamer.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Atlanta all over Miami, 9-1 in the top of the 9th inning. Freddie Freeman, a 2-run home run, his 14th. Last night it was the Marlins behind Jose Fernandez who picked up the victory. Today it's the Braves. That one's looped out towards shallow left field. Goodell comes running in and he makes a basket catch. Two outs.
Got away with one there. Like a two-strike kind of hanging breaking ball right over the inner half of the plate. If he was in pull mode on that ball, he might have done some damage. And the pitch, he kind of jammed himself on this pitch. Watch. And he kind of got his upper body out over the plate and jammed himself.
Well, Merrifield, who doubled his first time up, his average is second among rookies in the American League. Fastball just missed down and away. 1-0. That's one of the pitches, though, that he has to get back to getting. I mean, he has to obviously get it toward the outer edge a little bit more, toward the black, but that was such an important pitch for him.
Well, it was a money pitch for him. Hitters give up on it. I mean,
Change up.
Mike would know more than I would about the backdoor sinker to a right-hander.
Well, that pitch right there is one he needs to use more often. I don't know whether it's a changeup or not, but that location is one that's going to make that curveball not have to be perfect every time, right?
You're talking about the one up and in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Down the right field line. Borges will give it a peek, but it's going to be back into the crowd.
And see that. One thing you got to like about him as a hitter, got his weight. I mean, you wouldn't call it an on balance swing, so to speak, but I mean, he literally was running across home plate to get that pitch. You know what I mean? His weight was actually falling into the ball. Sort of like that's what I see in Cameron Rupp right now as a hitter. I see a guy just kind of eating up home plate. You know what I mean? He's just taking over home plate, and you got to pitch this kid inside.
Ball didn't come all the way back, and now it's 3-1. Morales is on deck. Phillies and the Royals tied up at 1 here in the top of the second.
Pitch right there. I think he gave up on that, thinking it was ball 4, and it ran right back over the outside corner. Now in a little bit of a predicament right now. You almost have to. No, I mean, you think breaking ball, but you almost have to do anything to keep from walking this hitter with Morales on deck. Another good pitch.
Runners were often on that pitch. So Dyson will go back to second base. Duffy will go back to first.
It's a good sign, though. Aaron's like he's confident in putting the ball where he wants to. I mean, these are two really good pitches right there. 3-1, 3-2.
26 pitch inning. one's out toward right center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. One run is in. Duffy goes to third. An RBI single for Merrifield, who has another 2-hit game. And it's 2-1. Royals on top. That is his 17th 2-hit game in this, his rookie year.
Wow. It's good pitching, good hitting. A jam, you get jammed and shoot that ball over second base like that with 2 outs. It's just good hitting, man.
Pretty swing. It's an easy swing. And again, it's coming back to where Mike and I were talking earlier about putting the ball in play with 2 strikes.
Yep, contact.
Well, now Morales with runners on first and third. 2 runs are in for the Royals. He spins that one foul off the left field line. Well, the little Dyson ground ball and the bunt by Duffy are 2 big plays in this inning. Duffy's first major league hit. Curveball, and it's 0-2. Kravitz to your left, Bob McClure to your right. Another curve ball. That one doesn't come all the way back, and it's 1-2.
I will say one thing about Aaron Nola's delivery. It looks like it's calmed down a little bit. He's not in a big rush. We were talking with LA earlier, and he thought he was rushing too much with his windup. They're bringing the leg up really quick and then exploding going towards home plate, and his arm was never catching up with his body. Now it seems like he has a little better rhythm. I mean, yes, you had the bunt base hit, you had a ground ball base hit, the ground ball to second base, so at least the ball's on the ground.
2-2. I think that number in the top right corner of our graphic is a big one, because that's where it's very un-Aaron Nola-like to run these high pitch counts up these first couple innings. Curveball hit a ton to right field, and it's not coming back. Off the facing of the video board, a 3-run shot, and it's 5-1 Royals on top. His 12th home run of the year, 42 runs batted in, and he's just smoking hot right now. Hit a 2-run home run last night, 3-run home run here tonight.
That was actually the same pitch that Gordon jammed himself towards left field.
Ball's a little bit up, and you know he keeps his hand, gets the foot down, keeps his hands back, so you know it's in that happy zone for the left-hander, right? A little on the inside corner. Not a sharp break, kind of like a a slurvy. Hard to get away with that one, you know. If it was 6-8 inches lower, you might get the ground ball to the first baseman, but you're talking about a hot hitter, a deep count.
Distance of 382 feet as Hosmer moves his feet. Well, here's the numbers from his last few starts. He has not reached the 4th inning, or full 4th inning. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, that swing right there doesn't look like the swing of a guy hitting 300, does it? Huh?
No, but he can take some crazy swings and then make the adjustment throughout the at bat.
Well, what set that home run up is that great at bat by Merrifield. He gets a 3-2 jam shot with 2 outs, keeps the inning alive.
Ground ball towards second base. Cesar Hernandez is up with it, and the inning is over. 8 men, though, come to the plate in the inning for the Royals. It's a 36-pitch inning. They explode for 5 runs on 5 hits. We'll head to the bottom of the second. It's 5-1. Royals on top. At 4:05, game 2 at 7:05, and then Wednesday is a 1:05 Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com for the Phils and the Atlanta Braves. For the Phillies hit the road to Colorado. Along with Matt Stairs, Mike Schmidt, Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. It's 5-1, bottom of the second inning, and Carlos Ruiz will lead it off. And Carlos takes low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Now this is where you have to have the message as hitters saying we do not change our game plan. It's 5-1 game. It's the second inning already. Do not change your game plan. Still be patient.
Ruiz pops it up into foul territory, and Hosmer makes the catch.
Already? Did I hear that? is that sarcasm?
A little bit.
Well, 1 out. And here's Tyler Goodell. Tyler playing left field tonight. He's got to get some at-bats, but Duffy's been so tough against left-handers that Pete Mackanin figured he had to throw the righties in. Lefties are hitting 163 against him. They have 1 extra base hit this year. It was Logan Morrison who had a double.
Looks like he has a little of that throw across his body move there. And that kind of steps a little on the first base side of the rubber. When he goes toward the hitter, that can get a lefties.
And he stands on the first base side of the rubber.
Get the right shoulder coming out a little bit.
Well, the Royals selected him in the 3rd round. They always anticipated he would be a starter, but he has done both during the course of his career, including this year, where he's been out of the bullpen and now as a starting pitcher. And you can see he's working from the stretch at all times. It's partly because he's comfortable, so they told him not to change it. Back in 2014, he won 9 games. His ERA was 2.52. We mentioned he was one of their better pitchers toward the end of the year, but then he got hurt. Tyler Goodell tied up, and that's his 2nd strikeout. 2 outs. And Cesar Hernandez is coming up.
Well, that was a big sharp breaker there. You can see why he's nasty on lefties.
Yeah, it was. You know what? It's funny. 2 pitches prior to this, watch Perez how he kind of gives a little sign to the third base, like here we come with a breaking ball inside. Now right here, you can watch Perez's hands. Just give him the finger like, hey, this is where it's coming. Be alert. Get ready to be on your toes.
I like that. I like that. That's a professional move right there.
Over toward the hole. Escobar's throw is just in time to get Cesar. Mickey Morandini says get the headphones on. Hernandez has had a wide assortment of infield hits recently. They're going to hold the defense for a moment while Larry Bowa gets on the phone. I thought Escobar got the throw over in time. Take a look. And he did.
He did.
And Hosmer's foot is still on the bag, so the inning is over. 6-3 on the putout. Shortstop to first. That's a 7-pitch inning. We'll head to the third. It's 5-1. Royals on top. Fan section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, guys, here's the question. Which Phillies pitcher earned the save in Game 2 of the 1980 World Series between the Phillies and the Royals? The answer will be revealed in just a little bit. It's going to test your memory there, Michael.
Weekends with Schmidt.
That's right.
Game 2.
The 1980 World Series.
It had to be one of 3 people.
All right. Well, you'll have to narrow it down, though. We begin the top of the third. Salvador Perez, Chesler Cuthbert, and Alcides Escobar. First pitch from Nola is in there. It's 0-1. Perez popped up to shallow center field his first time up. Cesar Hernandez took care of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off the hands, foul territory, and it's 1-2. Whoop. They were battling for it. Good curveballs. Really threw his timing off. Second strikeout for Nola. And now Cuthbert's coming up. Monday at 11, Phillies top prospect Jake Thompson demonstrates how he throws all of his pitches at his disposal. Watch an all-new Phillies clubhouse Monday at 11 right here on the Comcast Network. Sometimes when you're down, you're kind of free and easy. I mean, what do you guys look for from Nola? What's he have to do? I mean, is this part of it?
Keep pitching.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little angry on the mound.
Yeah, I think you got to leave him out there. You know, he may find something. It's like leaving a hitter in the game when he's 0 for 15 and you're getting pounded or you're beating somebody real bad. He needs to be in there. I mean, he might find something in there at bat. He might find something this inning.
Over toward third.
He has pitched well to these first 2 hitters. A couple of good breaking balls. This is kind of an old Nola style inning right here. Getting ahead of hitters and 7, 8, 9, 10 pitch inning. He used to do this in the second.
That's exactly right.
After a big pitch first inning, he'd come back with a couple of 8s and 7s in 2 and 3.
Here's Escobar, who singled his first time up. Well, he's had 5 0-2 counts tonight. At the knees, and it's 0-1.
So you say he's had 5 0-2 counts.
Right.
And how many hitters has he put away?
Well, that's what we're going to check on right now.
That's the most important thing.
One ball and 1 strike to Escobar. That ball just moved away from the bat head.
Back when I played, a guy that threw this style, you wouldn't see right-handed hitters getting a lot of real quality swings at it.
Kind of like that.
No, well, I mean that's a good protection swing with 2 strikes right there to stay alive. I'm just saying you wouldn't see right-handed hitters getting a lot of good, aggressive, almost like it's coming swings at that nasty slider, that hard curve. It just nowadays it's a little different because they don't throw up and in as much as they used to, but you got a lot of swings like that back in the day, and I'm the one that made them.
Well, Aaron Nola certainly liked those swings in this inning. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Phillies down by 4. Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. By Jefferson. Call 800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Aaron Nola, after a 1-2-3 inning, it's his first 1-2-3 inning in more than a month, will go to work as the hitter. Ball and 1 strike. His numbers 1 for 23 as a hitter.
Well, I got a minute here. I want to say hello to my good friend George Brett,
Hall of Fame name dropper,
who used to play for this team, you know.
Yes, he did.
Is he the shortstop or second baseman?
Did you?
And I have a funny story for you if we get a minute. It happened to me today. George is watching.
Did somebody think you were George Brett?
No, I talked to him this morning. We have a little wager on this series, actually, and I'm up one game, as you know, right now in the series with good friend. He's watching us tonight, so we got to be good. I don't want to tell a story over Odubel Herrera's at bat, that's for sure. But anyway, I'll make it quick. I'm in the lobby at the hotel today, and there's 3 people with T-shirts on, Kansas City Royals, and one of them's in a wheelchair. And you know, I felt so sorry for him, a young boy. And I said, you know, I should say hello to these guys. And what I'll say is this: are you guys? And I did. I said, you all must be Royals fans. And I said, yeah. I said, well, you must know, you know, my good friend George Brett. Oh, they go, oh yeah. You know, we know George. I said, did you know George? They said to me, do you know George? I said, yeah, I know George. I used to play a little ball. He said, where did you play? Right. And the story kind of went that way. They had no idea who I was. In my town, hotel lobby, right? So, you know, finally they put 2 and 2 together, and it was, Mike to George, blah, 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 and they had this whole thing. And went upstairs, I called George, and I told him, well, George, you got me again in my own town. You're more popular than I was today in the hotel lobby.
What did you think about that one?
Oh, he laughed. He said, what's new, basically.
So he wasn't sure how your bet was going.
Oh, no, he knew how the bet was going. Yeah. He texted me and said that I was 1 up. But anyway, back to baseball. Odubel popped up a bunt.
Well, try to get on here, and he's popped out twice now. Here's Borges, who tripled his last time up and then scored. And it's back to the screen. It's no balls and 1 strike. Chopper to the right side. Hosmer knocks it down.
It's just that easy to get a hit, isn't it? Huh? When you're hotter than heck. Speed, put it in play. Wow.
It's unbelievable.
There was a point where Hosmer, it looked like he thought, oh man, I got to go over to first base.
You know, that's one of those plays where the first baseman and the second baseman, if they know, first baseman takes off for first right away. Second baseman's got that ball easy, and you know it's a close play. He may beat it still, but that's second baseman's ball. Second baseman got to give him an I got it right away as soon as it's hit.
I thought maybe where the second baseman was lined up, he may not have thought he could get to it.
You're right.
Yeah,
that's possible.
I'll agree with you right there, Tom, because I've played first base a lot, and when your second baseman's playing more up the middle, and you come off the line, you feel like you need to go farther to your right to knock that ball down, or that's your ball, because they're playing up the middle. Usually if a guy like Borges hit a ball to right field there, that's a mistake swing. So that's where you feel like you need to go get it. But I agree with you. The communication has to be there.
Yeah.
But your first instinct is, I got to go get it. And then once you start going to your right, you have to keep on going.
Yeah, but you know, if the second baseman yells, I got it, and calls him off of it, he has a better angle to throw to the pitcher covering first base. But if the first baseman runs straight to first and the ball rolls into right field, wow, I let that one go.
1 ball, 1 strike to Andres Blanco. Blanco made his major league debut with the Kansas City Royals, who signed him as a free agent, an amateur free agent out of Venezuela. He was 20 years old, just over 20 years old, and at the time he was the youngest position player to make his debut for the Royals. Brett Saberhagen was the youngest player, but he was the youngest position player to make his debut with the Kansas City Royals. His first major league hit came 2 days after he arrived in Kansas City, and it was a bunt single against the Minnesota Twins. Think about how fast he went through the system, though, to make his debut at 20 years and 6 days.
Back in 2004. Teammate.
Young fella. Fouls it back, and it remains 2-2.
Well, he's a consummate he's extra player, bench player, whatever you want to call him. I mean, he can play everywhere. He's got a fantastic attitude. He's a good hitter. He keeps a batting average, you know, 280 to 310, somewhere in that range. Players love him. He's a great teammate. And when he plays, he hits third.
Yeah, that is remarkable. As a bench player. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blanco. And a swing and a miss, and the side is retired. Phillies get a 2-out single by Borges. Duffy works around that. We'll move to the 4th. It's 5-1. Kansas City on top. And hidden fees. Call WB Mason. Order the all-natural Blizzard spring water, available for 5-gallon bottles and small packs at a price you will love. Exclusively from who? But WB Mason. Nola pitched a 1-2-3 third inning. He's retired 4 straight. Now he's got Dyson, Duffy, and Gordon 8-9-1. And that's the hope, is that it continues even though he's down by 4. Phillies offense has averaged over 6 runs per game recently. Out to center field, Odubel Herrera. 1 pitch, 1 out.
It's a beautiful thing. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Follow the Phillies all season long with MLB.com @bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Here's Duffy, who bunted his first time up. He didn't look like a bunter there.
Pretty good swing.
Yeah. It's in a cool 500. Curveball in there, 0-2. Three strikeouts so far for Nola. Make it 4. Late swing. 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
You know, you were talking earlier about Andres Blanco when Whitey came to us in Kansas City in 2004. You know, that year we went through 58 players up and down that year
Did you really?
on the roster. That's what happens when you're 54 and 100 and whatever.
Everybody's getting a chance.
Oh, it was brutal. 58 and 104 we were that year.
Alex Gordon's 0 for 2. That's a long year. Off speed pitch 0 and 1. That's a long year. What do you think about that?
It's a very, very long year. And to remember all those players' names, no chance. We'd had guys come in for one start and then we'd never see them again. And they'd come in from A-ball. I mean, good for them.
Great for them.
Brutal for playing defense behind them, but
On a hot day in Kansas City, oh yeah.
it's not hot there.
By the way, Aaron Nola is one pitch away from a 7-pitch inning.
That's right. Pretty good breaking pitch, and it remains 0 and 2. Sammy's got to make that play. At least that's what they seem to be telling him in the dugout. I believe the big Texan must have been telling him that. Here we go. Sure-handed Juan Samuel.
Oh, bad hop.
Oh, bad hop.
Well, he's thrown his fair share of changeups in this inning. He's still ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alex Gordon.
Let's see if he comes back with that front door sinker. Fastball away.
There it is, and a strike 3 call. Second straight 1, 2, 3 innings, 7 in a row retired by Nola. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th here in Philly. To find your route for today. Toyota, let's go places. Let's go Phils. And your capacity crowd on hand tonight. Fireworks will follow the Royals and the Phils. Phillies did something a little different here with the 5:50 start. Aaron Nola has retired 7 straight since giving up the home run to Kendrys Morales. In fact, 5:50 start, and there will be a youth orchestra that will perform after the game until the fireworks begin. A little nice little touch.
That's interesting.
Yeah, nice little touch. They were practicing out on Ashburn Alley today during batting practice. think part of it was, all right, so you start the game at 5:50, how dark will it be, but also to add to the festivities of what's turned out to be a great crowd.
Well, they got a little lucky tonight with the shadows and the sun.
Yep.
A little overcast night. Beautiful night.
Chopper foul by Franco, who had the infield hit for an RBI single his first time up. One ball and 2 strikes. It'll be Franco, Joseph, and Ruiz as the Phils try to climb out of a 4-run deficit. Hot shot right side.
If you got that, if you have that stroke in your repertoire, you should be really tough to get out. I mean, I never had that stroke in my repertoire. Ground ball to second base until the last 2 years I played the game. But now there's a high pitch where he just, I mean, I swear he says, I'm just going to hit this at the second baseman because I know there's nobody standing there. I mean, that's good hitting right there. And
he starts Tommy Joseph off with a changeup. Tommy struck out his first time up. To right center field, Dyson calls off Morales.
Not a bad idea. Working, thinking right center makes you stay on the ball a little bit better. But you know, with Michael Franco, what I really liked about that knock to right field, and yes, he has that type of swing. We've seen it. Look at his front foot. All right, he's going to go up to his toe and never lift his foot off the ground. He has a wider stance. That's a controlled swing where we're so used to seeing him step in the bucket. You can see right here how high it is. And usually he's stepping in the bucket and everything goes towards third. This time he kept his weight going back towards the pitcher, and that's why he hit that ball to right field.
Now, do you think stepping in the bucket is what has caused him to do something like that, to adjust a little bit?
Well, I think what happens is you start stepping in the bucket, you start over swinging at pitches, and your pitch selection changes. The flight of the ball comes in. You can't tell if it's inside or strike or outer third.
I agree with you, but I don't think stepping in the bucket causes that. I think the thinking that you have, your approach to that particular pitch and that at bat causes the step in the bucket. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to go deep to left field. You're going to step in the bucket,
right?
Right.
And that's why I think that him stepping in the bucket caused him going back towards to having a stance like that.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
That's why he started doing that. We saw it in spring training. We saw early in the season that he could hit the ball to right field. Him stepping in the bucket, he wouldn't have been able to do that.
No question about it.
And that's why he kind of said, you know what, I need to calm down my swing.
Exactly, or you need to calm down your brain, get control of what you're envisioning in your mind when you go up to hit. And he's leading off the inning. We're down 4 runs. He's got 2 strikes. No one standing at second base. Not a time for a home run swing, right?
Right.
Time for a single swing. Boom, hits the single to right field.
Tyler Goodell takes a tough strike on the outside corner.
And the same swing will hit a ball off the wall in right center.
Yeah, he definitely has that power to go the other way. He's got the power to go all fields. Goodell struck out his first time up. Inside, 1-1. Well, it'd be nice to get a run or 2 here just to kind of piece it back together. So we mentioned the Phillies offense has been averaging over 6 runs per game. They have 61 runs in the last 10 games. Compare that to averaging 3.1 runs per game in the previous 71. Franco and Ruiz go back to their spots.
I think the hitters on the Philly hitters, I know I would ever go to a guy like Borjos or Agee and knowing how much they were struggling and say, what are you doing different? Let me in on it, right? Borjos say, well, you know, I swear I'm just trying not to swing hard. I'm just trying to swing smooth and easy at the ball. And I think I'm going to try that.
Out to right field. Morales makes the catch. Franco will tag and go to third. Two outs, runners on first and third. Cesar Hernandez is coming up. Well, Murph, it's been refreshing to watch Cesar swing over the last 8 days or so.
It certainly has. You're right about that, Tom. And Mike, you were just talking about it, guys that have changed their approach a little bit, and Cesar Hernandez seems to fit that bill over the last 7 days, and it's not a coincidence, according to Pete Mackanin, his manager. He said when we were in San Francisco and the Phils were taking batting practice, Hensley Mullins, who is the hitting coach for the San Francisco Giants, went over to Cesar Hernandez, and he had coached him in 2011 in the Venezuela League, and he said to Cesar, I've been watching you swing, and why are you swinging so hard? and Hernandez looked at him and said, I don't know. And he said, you know, it's not your swing. You need to be hitting the ball on the ground, and you need to be beating these out. Now, these are things that Pete Mackanin and Steve Henderson and the rest of the coaching staff and Mike Schmidt have been telling Cesar Hernandez for weeks and months and probably going back years. But it must have clicked with him, because over the last couple of days, the last 7 days, batting .417 and doing what he did earlier in this game, you know, beating out ground balls. He was thrown out earlier in this game, but only by a hair, by hitting the ball on the ground. They've seen a noticeable change in it. Hitting line drives will work as well.
Wow, that's a heck of a play. Man, that is a gold glove play. Murphy just got robbed with one of those hits.
Well, leave it to Hensley Mullins to get one of our guys going.
It's nice that he could provide that kind of advice. This is a fielder's choice. It may have been a base hit if not for Alcides Escobar. A little hop, a little skip, a little throw, and Duffy with a tip of the cap. Phillies leave a couple. We'll head to the fifth. Phillies take on the New York Mets. All fans 14 and under will receive the Galapagos Gang beach towel. Compliments of Pico. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. There's that beach towel. Great giveaway. Tonight the giveaway is fireworks after the ball game, brought to you by Xfinity. We go to the top of the fifth inning, and Aaron Nola will work against Whit Merrifield. First pitch is outside, 1-0. Merrifield, who is 2 for 2 today, is 4 for 6 in this series. I mentioned that he's out of the University of South Carolina. His dad was a professional baseball player as well, his dad Bill. And his dad Bill was in the Pirates organization, was traded to the Pirates organization for Johnny Ray. Remember Johnny Ray, the second baseman? And he was told he had to report to Pittsburgh one day as he grounds one to shortstop. Blanco's up with it, throws him out, reports to Pittsburgh, put on the major league roster, goes into the clubhouse, gets dressed, all ready to go. The game's rained out. After the game, he goes back into the clubhouse. His bag's all packed. He's being shipped back out to the minor leagues. Never made it to the major leagues after that. That was the only day he was in the big leagues. He retired the next year, his dad Bill. And here is his son Whit.
Wow.
Fulfilling the dream of making it to the big leagues.
Got called up and got rained out.
Called up,
sent down.
rained out. Did get a chance to take batting practice against Jim Leyland. I'm not sure if that is a consolation prize or not. Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, all those guys were on that team. Morales takes a strike. It's 1-1. Here's his home run. Right now, kind of the backbreaker for Aaron Nola, 3-run having
Yeah, this was after having him 0-2 in the count. Crushing that ball almost off his face in right field.
Yeah. Got a little movement going right now with that two-seamer.
The put away pitch is a tough one for him with this guy.
Two balls and two strikes.
I don't know how much I'd be messing around with that inside corner.
What do you think? Maybe a backdoor curveball here or something?
Well, I think they tried that earlier. Let's see something up in the zone. Morales is a very good low ball hitter.
You know, sometimes that whole theory of you got to keep the ball down. You got to keep the ball down. Yeah, with breaking balls, sometimes it's worse when you throw somebody like this. You keep it knee high in the hitting zone.
Got him. He went low with the curve.
He just couldn't hold out. You know, he wanted to get a hack in there, didn't he?
First baseman Eric Hosmer.
2 outs and Eric Hosmer's coming up. Murph, Cesar Hernandez hit that ball to shortstop. You had one last piece. You had the denouement to that story that you didn't get a chance to give.
You're right, I did, and I'd like to, just to put a bow tie on that story, because I talked to Pete Mackanin about that today, and I joked with him, and I said, you know, pretty much what Mike just said, you know, Hensley Mulin's able maybe to get one of your guys going. And I said, I kind of liken it to when a parent tells a kid over and over again what they need to be doing the right way, and the kid just doesn't listen, and someone from the outside tells them the exact same thing, and the kid listens. And Pete said that's exactly what it feels like. But he doesn't care as long as Cesar gets going. That's all he cares.
I think we all should have Hensley Mullins call our house at least once.
My question would be, was that like after the last game or?
Excellent question.
No, I think it was early on in that series, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think it would do him any good with this team to know that he's helping a hitter on another team.
Hopefully they're not watching.
Let's see. They're in Arizona. No, they're probably not watching this game. 2 balls and 1 strike to Eric Hosmer.
That was the old curveball that we've seen early in the season.
Two pitch to Hosmer. There was a mad dash for that foul ball in one of the suites, and I see a bunch of kids, and they were like ants running after. There they are. He looks stunned that he has it.
Where'd this come from?
Yeah. Change up, and it remains 2-2. Aaron is due to lead off The bottom of the 5th inning. These last 3 innings have been everything that folks expect of Aaron Nola. And I think of himself too. Adam Morgan's been throwing in the pen. He's going to start again. Swing and a miss. He got him. Well, I'm not sure if he broke through a wall or not, but at least he took a step to his next start. He picks up the strikeout to finish up the 5th. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Phillies down by 4. Now for our Citizens Bank minor league reports. And Lehigh Valley defeated Charlotte 3-2. Jake Thompson, who will be featured on Phillies Clubhouse, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. Tyler Vizia, 7 innings and 5 hits. Is Reading defeated Harrisburg. Clearwater defeated Brevard County 6-3. And Bailey Falter, 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, as Williamsport defeated Batavia 3-1. Lehigh Valley, by the way, is trailing tonight 3-1. Ben Lively's pitching in that one. J.P. Crawford, he's heating up a little bit. RBI single in that ball game.
Swinging about well.
Here's Freddie Galvis to pinch hit for Aaron Nola in the bottom of the 5th inning. Guys, can we think that Aaron broke through something, or we have to wait till his next start? What do you think?
I think it's a step forward. I'm anxious to see his next start.
I know you're trying to get some offense here. I don't know. I wouldn't have minded him going back out another inning.
No, I wouldn't be there, but I mean, he was at 90 some pitches.
He was 95.
You know, and unfortunately, his next start comes in Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Where your best pitch is your curveball.
Galvis whacks it foul. It's 1-2. Well, we talked about he hadn't had a 1-2-3 inning in over a month, and he finished up with 3 1-2-3 innings, and that's a big deal. Plus, his stuff looks really good those last 3 innings. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Galvis. Freddie hitting .223, and he waves at that pitch. And he's not going to run down the first base line, so Salvador Perez will just watch him walk out the circle. Severino Gonzalez warming up in the bullpen, so it looks like he'll be next up for the Phillies. And that'll bring Odubel Herrera to the plate. Odubel is 0 for 2. Lined out softly to first his first time up, and then tried to bunt his way on and bunted in the air. Inside, 1-0.
All right, Odubel, now's where you work on that 400 on base percentage. Need base runners. Just keep that bat on your shoulder until the pitcher throws a strike.
Over to second base, an easy play from Merrifield. And there are 2 outs. Well, speaking of Odubel, Murph talked about the All-Star game with Odubel. He's part of our Geico quote of the day on being an All-Star. I don't have that on my mind. I'd love to be part of it, but I'm just trying to help my team win. Well, that's saying all the right things. Whether the Phillies have more than one representative might dictate whether Genmar goes or Odubel goes. Both deserve to go. At least it seems that way.
Both probably will.
Good if they get more than one. I think it's just hard to get more than one sometimes when you're toward the bottom of the division. And I think the outfield is pretty crowded, unfortunately, in baseball.
Well, what, Genmar is what, 4th in the National League, 5th overall in baseball in saves?
Correct.
They love taking closers.
I think the other thing is he can pitch more than 1 inning if they need him to. Borges takes strike 2. It's 0-2.
But you also got to remember too, All-Star games, they love to take the bigger names.
So they're going to take Genmar. Over toward third, charging is Cuthbert. Oh, and Peter Borges is able to beat it out. You talk about speed and smelling ahead. Cuthbert just took an extra beat or 2. He still may be out. Dan Wakamatsu, the bench coach, is going to go to the horn and check it out underneath.
It didn't even look like Hosmer was on the base, did it? He didn't even stretch. Yeah, they got him.
He definitely didn't stretch.
Maybe he didn't need to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm sure the Royals will ask to have this one looked at. The Royals are already walking off the field casually. The umpires will take a peek. Tom Hallion will take a look with Toby Bassner, the first base umpire. I would think that New York has this one already dialed up.
So much for holding the defense.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're gonna go on their own here.
So we worked him for what? About 8 pitches?
Yeah, it was a pretty quick inning. He's out at first. That'll retire the side in order. We'll head to the 6th. 5-1. Phillies down by 4. Of the week is having fun while putting together a fantastic and productive month of June. Peter got off to a slow start this season, but he is making up for it as we head toward the All-Star break. Borges isn't in the lineup every day, but when he is, he's been delivering an average in the high 300s for most of the month and is cashing in with runners in scoring position. His speed can lead to problems for opposing teams. It has been recently, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Peter Borges had the highest batting average in the month of June in Major League Baseball, and he's carried it over here to July. He's had a good start to the month of July. Folks are here to see the Phils and the fireworks and to see this little cat Out with the Philly fanatic. Look at the look on his face. He is all business, isn't he? Took him a few moments to get in the swing of things, but he's trying to hex the Royals.
That's pretty sweet.
Here's Severino Gonzalez, and he fouls it off to the right and out of play. Severino takes over for Aaron Nola, who goes 5, allows 6 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. 9th ball game for Severino, facing Salvador Perez. Perez 0 for 2 in this ball game, 0 for 5 overall in the 2-game series so far. Well, there's always one. Bo Jackson has arrived at the game, guys. Swing and a miss. He got him fishing for that slider. Three straight strikeouts for Phillies pitching, and 1 away here in the 6th inning. Friday, August 12th at 7:05 is the kickoff to Wall of Fame weekend here at Citizens Bank Park. Jim Thome Wall of Fame induction ceremony will take place. Sunday the 14th is Toyota Phillies Wall of Fame Fathead. Free to all fans. That's a 1:35 first pitch. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com.
Back to that Kansas City fan that was the face paint guy.
Yeah.
I got a problem. I have a tough time doing that in Kansas City's park. You know, painting myself all up like a Philly fan and standing up there inciting people to tell me to leave.
Well, he was in the back corridor until they took the lead. Then he came out. Two balls and 1 strike. You think we could borrow your 80 World Championship ring and go down and show that to him?
Hear that, George?
We're poking at the Hall of Famer. One Hall of Famer to another. That's chopped foul into the.
Although he has one too.
Yes, he does. Matt, what year?
85.
85. Cuthbert fouls it back. The count remains 2-2.
Did you see the Kansas City Royals World Series rings from last year?
I did.
Very nice.
They are beautiful.
Second nicest I've seen.
Are they as big, or are they toning them down a little bit?
There was no toning that one down.
No, it was.
I mean, can you actually wear them?
Well, you can wear it. It's big, though. It's a good size ring. Speaking of World Series, time now for our Jeep Stump the Fans trivia quiz answer. The question: which Phillies pitcher earned the save in Game 2 of the 1980 World Series between the Phils and the Royals? All right, so you guys have written down, Mike, you've written down 3 names.
Matt has circled 1. Is it possible this pitcher played in the NBA?
It is possible. We're doing it because of all NBA free agency talk going on these last couple
really?
of days. Yeah.
So is his name? Are his initials Railroad?
Railroad is. Those are his initials. Yes.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Reed, Ron Reed.
Ron Reed is correct. Log back onto Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack.
Credit goes to Mr. Matt here for picking him.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. He was a tall fella, Ron Reed, huh?
For that day, he was. I think he was 6'6", but he'd be just normal size right now. Right?
He'd be short in the NBA, too.
I guess you'd say he might have been maybe Zach Eflin size.
Oh, that's still pretty big. On top of the mound.
We're seeing some quality pitches. Severino here.
Outside, 2-2. There's a lot of screaming and laughing going on in the background. The fanatic must be somewhere around. Escobar not happy that he either offered at that pitch or missed that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to him. And a liner caught by Severino, and he'll double the runner up at first base. Chesler Cuthbert is doubled up, and the side is retired. L1 in the scorebook. DP for the double play. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery's new Mustang Instant Game. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. By Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Matt, speaking of the lottery, no one won the Mega Millions last night. It's now up to $449 million.
I did, but I said I didn't want it this week.
Gave it back?
I gave it back.
Let it gain a little interest. Andres Blanco will lead it off as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Andres tried to check his swing. He went around. $449 million. Powerball goes off tonight, by the way. That's 243. And a strike 3 called. Well, that's the second time tonight that Blanco has been down on strikes. Well, time now for our cold hard fact, brought to you by Coors Light. How about Duffy? 67.8% of the time he's throwing a strike. That's 5th, or it's leading in the American League, but 5th overall. That's incredible to throw strikes that many times.
I'd be curious what like Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay percentage be Because those guys were strike throwers,
right? Cliff was in the 60s, and Doc was probably in his heyday was in the 60s. Kershaw's the leader of the pack. I mean, before he went on the DL. To the right side. Merrifield this time was angled over a little bit more. So he's able to make that play easily.
And with the graphic you just saw, a lot of them has to do with him getting a lot of swing and misses on this slider, this changeup. I mentioned earlier since his starting, changeup and slider is under 100. So he's getting a lot of swing and misses, and which guys who with power arms will do, because you gear up for a fastball and then you try to react to an off-speed pitch after you notice the pitch is coming in.
There's a cue shot foul up the first base line.
I mean, tonight he's got 48 strikes, 21 balls.
He's close to 70 pitches, so let's say 70 pitches in 6 innings, or 6 innings. Let's do a little math there, and that's a pretty low pitch count.
That's pretty low pitch count. You can just trust us, everybody. That's a low pitch count.
Well, and it comes back to the point I made when they scored a 5 spot in the 2nd inning. Just have a game plan. Don't get away from what they've been doing so well over the last 10 games, hitting wise, or say 9 games, 8 games. You're seeing a lot of early swings.
And he is right around the strike zone. And I think Dan Bellino's, a lot of umpires this way. He's established that strike zone and he's stayed with it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tommy Joseph.
It's one of those pitchers, left-handers, that they pitch a little backwards, got a great changeup. Tough guy to put a rally together against, you know what I mean? You got to take a lot of pitches. You got to poke it the other way. He's just not one of those guys that's firing right at you, left and right, and you can hit, a 3-run home run real easy. He makes it tough on you.
Well, and he's only walked 1 batter over the last 2 outings. That's a 10-pitch 6th inning. Phillies go down in order for the 2nd straight inning. 8 in a row retired. We'll head to the 7th. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. It's the top of the 7th inning. Kendrys Morales, you saw that 3-run home run. That's been the big hit in today's ball game. He's hitting 8 straight. But the other part of the storyline is that Danny Duffy's got 6 innings. He's allowed 1 earned run. Aaron Nola went 5. He struck out 7. He retired the last 10 batters that he faced. He allowed 5 runs in the 2nd inning, including that 3-run home run. So now as we go to the top of the 7th inning, a new pitcher for the Phillies. It'll be Adam Morgan, and an infield that I don't know if I ever thought I'd see for the Phillies here in 2016. But this is the versatility of some of their players that they're able to do this. Morgan will face Gerard Dyson to start it off. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. Adam Morgan so far this season 1-6 with a 6.48 ERA. Working out of the bullpen. Fly ball, shallow center field. Out is Hernandez, in is Odubel, and Herrera makes the final call on the catch. All right, so this alignment is a little different than what we're used to. Cesar Hernandez, who's a shortstop by trade but hasn't played it too much professionally because he's coming around with Freddie Galvis, he's at shortstop. And Jimmy Paredes, who has played second base in his lifetime but has been known mostly as an outfielder recently, is at second base. And Andres Blanco, who is known more as a shortstop second baseman, is over at first base. Danny Duffy takes outside. It's 1-0. Listen, you've got to be versatile. And if you are, Pete's going to use you in different spots.
And you will hang around for quite a while.
Absolutely. Adam Morgan, you notice there's nobody on, but he's working from the stretch. As a starting pitcher, he obviously would be from the windup at this point, but he is all in as a reliever at this point.
Well, I mean, I understand if he's all in for being a reliever at this point, but if you feel comfortable going in your windup, then stay in your windup. You don't need to go into a stretch every time.
Out to left field, Tyler Goodell is under it. 2 outs. Toyota Major League scoreboard. Mets lead the Cubs 2-0. Neil Walker's 15th home run has given New York the early lead.
It's like a home run derby over in New York the last couple of days. They had 5 yesterday?
I think it was 5, yeah. Mets begin play tonight. 6 games behind the Nationals. Washington's trailing right now to the Reds 4-0. Alex Gordon, who is hitless in 3 ABs.
Changeup. That used to be a Cardinal sin back in the day. Lefty on lefty, throw him a changeup. It's because it fades back into the oh no zone down in.
Down the left field line, Goodell with a long run, Franco with a long run, and that's back into the crowd.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I banged my shins on that fence at the vet down the line, running down there, and bang, both kneecaps right against that metal fence at the vet.
Short enough where you can go right over it. Ooh.
Well, these Royal hitters, professional hitters, they eat that plate up, stride in there, get in there close to the ball. Experience, that's experience for you. By the way, it wasn't like 3 or 4 years ago. We had no idea who was on this team. Right?
Well, that's true.
But you talk about being able to take control of home plate. Gordon strides in. Look at the plate coverage he has. There's not one part of that plate that he cannot cover.
And that ball started up around his neck, behind his head, and he didn't even flinch. It's almost like he knew it was going to break. But that's good hitting. That guy sure doesn't look like a 209 hitter up there.
No.
He is coming back from a broken wrist injury.
Outside, ball 4. So 2-out walk. Fresh off a big U.S. Open win on Wednesday, the first place Union are in the great state of Texas to take on the Houston Dynamo. Coverage begins tonight at 9 over on TCN. Well, that's only the second base runner for the Royals since the second inning. They provided all of their damage in that second. They scored 5 runs. But since that time, the combination of Nola, Gonzalez, and now Adam Morgan. That ball is right past Blanco. Nobody there to back it up. Gordon's on his way to third. The throw by Paredes is offline. That was an outfielder's arm right there.
He might have the best second base arm in the history of the game.
I mean, he wound up, and that ball just jumped off his arm.
He has a cannon. Tough play for Whitey right there. Look at that thing just.
I mean, if that's on line, it's a play. He may still be there, but it was pretty close play. So a runner at third with Whit Merrifield up. 7th error of the season for Phillies pitching. Solid numbers against lefties.
Well, this is a good-looking hitter. I said it earlier. And you can watch his upper body, his front, the line of his shoulders. How there's no moving back. They just stay in the exact same place no matter where the pitch is. That upper body doesn't go away from home plate at all.
Good play by Ruiz.
Which you don't see a lot of hitters do. A lot of guys are opened up or closed, a lot of movement.
These kids are ready. They want a souvenir. Look at all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's going to get it? They're hoping for this to be in the final out. There you go. Swing and a miss. Side is retired. Who's going to get the baseball? Carlos is peeking over his shoulder. He's got an assortment of kids to choose from. I'm going to go this way. You got to know your environment, boys. Time to stretch. Phillies hoping for a little offense here, and Carlos Ruiz will lead things off. It'll be Ruiz and Tyler Goodell against lefty Danny Duffy, who's been in control here this afternoon and this evening. And Carlos lines the first pitch into right center field, a base hit. Well, boys, maybe this is the opening the Phillies need to get something rolling. They've had some base runners, which haven't been able to, as you guys mentioned, just patch it together. And it's because of this guy right here and what he's been able to accomplish.
Yeah, the last couple innings have been very good. Getting a lot of ground balls. But 1, 2, 3, 4 of his last 6 outs were on the ground.
Here's Goodell. Goodell is 0 for 2.
Matt and I were kind of shaking our heads when Carlos lined that single to right field. That's, you know, it's a nice execution of hitting. It goes back to that old school theory that we have, is when you're down 4 runs in a game, you got to get base runners. And if you know, I've said many times, it sounds like a broken record. The first step toward making an out is swinging the bat.
Goodell is now behind 1 and 2.
Then again,
you got to hit.
You know, well, maybe the pitcher is established enough that he's not going to walk anybody, and the pitch count's not a factor. And just get your hacks in. You know, if we get hits, we get hits. That's how we're going to get our base runners. But we're not going to get them by working the count and drawing walks.
And we can go one step farther, and that being said, it's a good point, but we haven't given him an opportunity tonight to walk anyone or to try to get into the bullpen in the 5th inning. This is going to be a 79th pitch. I mean, I know the bullpen, the Kansas City bullpen, is unbelievable, and they got some great arms down there. I still would like to see a chance of getting into that bullpen early into the game.
And a breaking ball and a strike 3 called. Second time tonight that Goodell has gone down on strikes. And 1 away.
Yeah, and that was a good pitch to hit right there. Goodell had, you know, Tyler had just committed his hands to the point where he actually couldn't pull the trigger. But pitchers like this, I mean, you got to be a savvy hitter. You got to have a lineup full of guys that are committed to figuring him out. You know, are committed to figuring out a way to make this guy throw a lot of pitches, poke him the other way, be a good two-strike hitter. Maybe you can get him frustrated and get him to throw some balls and get some base runners. I mean, it's a hard game to come back and win by hitting your way back.
Right.
You need a couple of base runners and that's a good play right there. That's one way to get base runners.
Yeah, he's aboard. Hosmer's able to scoop it out and keep everybody where they are. So a base hit for Cesar Hernandez. It's his 7th bunt base hit of the year.
And you're basically 2 doubles, 2 doubles and a single now from tying this ball game up. But it takes base runner mentality. Great bunt, fantastic bunt, good play by the third baseman.
Yeah.
He didn't make a good throw, but you're not getting Cesar on that.
Oh, to be that fast. So now Jimmy Paredes, who's up for the first time. He came on as part of the double switch. There is bullpen action for the Royals. It just began. Luke Hochevar is warming up in the pen. Former top pick. Turned into a nice reliever. Get a shot of the big green thing.
Big pitch right here, Matt.
2-1.
2-1, get him to 3-1. You get a chance to load those bases.
Ground ball to shortstop. Escobar backed up on it for a moment. They'll just get the middle runner. Runners on first and third with 2 outs, and now Odubel Herrera is coming up. Planned for the annual Phillies alumni luncheon on Thursday, August 11th at Citizens Bank Park. This year's luncheon recognizes Phillies Wall of Fame inductee Jim Thome. Hear from Jim and other surprise guests as you enjoy lunch in the Diamond Club, photos with the 80 and 08 World Series trophies, an auction benefiting Phillies charities, an optional tour of Citizens Bank Park, and much more. To order tickets, go to phillies.com/alumni luncheon. Odubel tonight is 0 for 3. A little different approach by Duffy to Odubel this time. And a liner to shortstop, caught by Escobar. And the side is retired. Phillies leave a couple. They got their first couple of hits since the 4th inning. We've played 7 on to the 8th inning. Phillies are running out of time. It's 5-1. Royals on top. To you by Toyota. Get big savings at Toyota's Red, White, and Blue sales event. Toyota, let's go places. By McDonald's. Stop by McDonald's today and enjoy the new McPick 2 for $2.50 menu. I'm loving it. And by your local Ford stores. Top half of the 8th inning. It's 5-1. Royals on top. And Kendrys Morales will lead it off against Adam Morgan, who pitched a scoreless 7th inning. Morales will bat right-handed for the first time in this series.
Big old shift on Morales hitting right-handed.
Yeah, they don't have the same shift when he's
no,
left-handed, right?
They don't.
what I mean by the 3 on the right side. They have 3 on the left side here.
Whitey's pretty much playing second base.
Towering fly ball to deep left field. Goodell is back at the wall, and it is gone. His second home run of the night. He's homered from the left side and now the right side. Well, you can see why they can't take him out of the lineup. It's 6-1 Kansas City.
Yeah, that was a high fly.
That was a high.
Like that. I'd be interested in knowing the time, the hang time on that bad boy. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Here's Hosmer, who takes it inside. It's 1-0.
When you're going good, you're going good. You just get under one, you hit a fly ball, and it carries right on out of the ballpark. Now that ball, Morales' home run, would that not be a home run in Kansas City?
No, it would not be. Because Kansas City's what, 330 down the left field corner, and then it kind of slowly jolts out towards the bullpen.
Yeah. It definitely.
Now you know what? What year are you talking about? Because 2004 was when they moved the fences back 10 feet.
I know a lot of parks it wouldn't have been a home run in. Mets for sure, right? Miami.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely not Miami. All right, so it's 330 and then 387 to left center field at Kaufman. Back toward the middle. Paredes can't get to it, so a base hit for Hosmer. So Hosmer's aboard with his second hit of the series. th multi-home run game of Morales' career. How about this road trip alone for what he's been able to do? Perez takes outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. He's basically been Peter Borges since the end of June or end of April with power. It's hard to do, but those two guys are clear indications on how you can't give up on a season. You struggle for the first month. A lot of times people give up on the player, but you can't give up as the player.
I talked about it in the opening. I mentioned Pete McCannon gets credit for that, and he told me today, I mean, you know, Borges, because of his defense, got the opportunity, you know, for this resurgence as an offensive player. I mean, had he been a left fielder or mediocre defensive player, more than likely he wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to continue getting at bats.
And without knowing the Royals that much, I mean, they're not a team that scores a whole lot of runs. There's a fly ball toward right field in foul territory. Blanco is out, Paredes is out, and it lands in no man's land. I think there's a lot of inexperience between Blanco and Paredes out there in that position. 1-2. But without knowing the Royals all that much, I would think Morales is the DH with a team that lacks offensive punch, got more of an opportunity too to stay in there.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Ned Yost, the all-time winningest manager for the Royals, with over 500 wins. And a foul tip hung on to by Ruiz.
And with Morales, I mean, he is a guy that he's a game changer with one swing of the bat. And they do have a little bit of power throughout the lineup. But if you're looking for a guy at home to hit a ball in the fountain,
yeah,
he's the guy that can do it. Morales.
Here's Cuthbert with 1 out. They only hit 25 home runs in June. They gave up 59. Last 13 games for Kendrys Morales, 7 home runs, 21 runs batted in.
It's a good half year.
Ground ball right side. Blanco's got it to second for 1. Over to first, and it's in time. Morgan, a heck of a job covering. 3-6-1 double play, and the side is retired. A home run gives the Royals an extra run. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Now for your Hyundai defensive play of the game. This is a pretty sharp play right here.
It is. Wow, look at that backhand jump throw to second where Carlos Ruiz almost beat that out. Escobar, nice play at a big time. Robbed Cesar Hernandez of a hit.
Duffy with the tip of the hat.
Yep, and that's your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. I love that car, Hyundai.
I think we rented a Hyundai last time we were on the road. Here's Peter Borges. Borges 2 for 3 in this game. Opposite way, and it's going to go foul. Paulo Orlando takes over in right field for the Royals. For Kendrys Morales, his offensive work is done. Borges fouls it again. Remains 0-2.
I found that interesting last night. KC right fielder is a sprinter. That is a big boy.
Yeah. 200 meter, 400 meter, I think is what he's used to sprinting.
Yep.
Borges out to right center field, and Orlando does not have to use his sprinting speed here. He'll get under it though, and he makes the catch for the first out. One away. Speaking of being an excellent sprinter, let's go to Greg Murphy.
I don't know if you're talking about me, but thank you, Tom. It's time for our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And well, the streak is over. Oh, that's what you were talking about. You're talking about the streak. Yes, the 14-game streak for the Cleveland Indians is over. After going 19 innings yesterday against the Toronto Blue Jays, the Indians finally fell today 9-6 for the Blue Jays. In that game, Rajai Davis of the Indians did hit that for the cycle in reverse order, by the way. I'm told by Alec down here. Home run, triple, double, then single. That one's lifted out to center field. And Ryan Goins, who pitched in that 19th inning game ended up on the DL today with a strained forearm. So certainly that is not good news for the Blue Jays as well. Yadier Molina, guys, becomes the 34th catcher in baseball history to have 1,500 hits. He got a single today in the Cardinals game in the 4th inning, and he went over that 1,500 hit mark for catchers. Certainly a terrific career for Yadier Molina, and a terrific milestone as well, guys.
Unbelievable career for Yadier Molina. Here's Maikel Franco. Franco is 2 for 3. By the way, we've watched the last 2 Indian Blue Jays games, and they have been very entertaining. Today there was a replay, as you see Hochevar up top, Oberholzer down below. Replay that took about 4 minutes that nearly gave the Blue Jays the lead to break a 6-6 tie. 7-pitch inning, fly out to left field. Duffy might be done. He may have just said thank you to the home plate umpire. We'll head to the top of the ninth. Six to 1, Royals on top. A little foreshadowing of what the fans here at Citizens Bank Park will see and hear once this game comes to a close. In fact, the Philadelphia Youth Orchestra will perform up until fireworks. Danny Duffy today, well, this is as good of an appearance we've seen from a starting left-hander all year long, what he's done today.
For a while, I mean, he went out there and just absolutely dominated, keeping the hitters off balance, mixing in a lot of fastballs inside the right-handers and inside the left-handers, which opens up a really good breaking ball. Gets a lot of hitters looking. I thought today over the top of his game, threw a lot of strikes. That's why he threw very well, and he threw 96 pitches tonight.
Yeah, we'll see if he's done or not. It looked like he was lobbying to try to go back out again. He does have a helmet on. He's sitting down on the bench. Dave Eiland, the pitching coach, and Ned Yost, the manager, were discussing it while Duffy went downstairs. He's due to bat third in this inning. Escobar fouls it. It's 1-1.
Well, it's not a safe situation. I don't know what their bullpen's going through recently. And didn't they come from St. Louis?
Yeah, they did.
They got overworked or not, but I don't see why he wouldn't go out. Complete games don't mean that much anymore, though, do they?
You know, I would. They don't. I mean,
quality starts do.
Yeah. But this is a young man who has 0 complete games in his big league career. Right? Why not get one?
Well, there's the call.
Dave Eiland on the phone. He may be just discussing what they're going to do if they do send him out. Three balls and 1 strike to Escobar. Single back in the second, lined into a double play his last time. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3, which Aaron Nola did do 3 times today before he left. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. anybody's getting up. 17 is Wade Davis. He's their closer. Broken bat, fly ball out to shallow right. Paredes makes the catch, run away. Well, Mike talked about it. It's not as important anymore. In the 70s, 50% of the games were completed. Each 100 games, 50% were completed. Now it's between 2010 and 2016. It's a little less than 6% of the games.
Well, if you're going to close the game out or pitch a complete game, you better throw under 105 pitches or 110 pitches.
Dyson into right field. This guy can run, so Borges, who can run also, has to get to it as fast as possible, and he will. He's going to hold him to a double.
Well, that's no disrespect really to starting pitchers nowadays. I mean, their mindset's different. The
bullpen
quality, the quality of pitching coming out of the bullpen now. Used to be the starter was the best. You know, your 3 or 4 starters were the best pitchers on your team. And you brought a guy out of the bullpen. He was basically a former starter. You know, and he's a guy with a little experience or too much experience and on his way out. So generally a tired starter was better than whoever you bring in out of the bullpen. Not like that now.
Nope. So Duffy will bat here in the top of the 9th inning with a runner at second base. His first major league hit, which was a bunt to the left side,
was huge.
Huge part of that second inning. The Dyson ground ball and his bunt opened it up for the Morales 3-run home run. To the right side, Blanco is there. Flips to Morgan covering. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Cincinnati in the top of the 4th inning leads Washington 4-1. Adam Duvall, who's had an exceptional year for the Reds, coming over from the Giants, has a 2-run double in that game.
You know, for a guy that doesn't ever hit, I mean, he's got a few good hacks in tonight. Put the ball in play 2 or 3 times. The bunt, as you said, kind of didn't turn out wasn't what he planned, but it turned out to be, as you say, probably the biggest at bat of the game. Typical left-hander. Typical left-hander. Can do a little bit of everything, right? Guy you wouldn't think could hit. Yep, stands in there and hits.
No batting gloves. Gordon fouls it back. It's 1-1.
I got to ask you guys, Gordon normally hits in what slot in the batting order? He moved to leadoff, right?
Yeah, he's down toward the middle, right, man?
Yeah, he's usually 5.
5.
Yeah. Early in his career, he was 3.
Lorenzo Cain just went on the disabled list. Escobar has been leading off a lot.
It's only been, what, about a week since they moved Escobar out of that leadoff spot.
She wants to be part of this mix as well. She's going to try to box out the
Schmidt jersey's leaving.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Gordon's down on strikes. Last chance for the Phils. Last chance to possibly get a souvenir before the night comes to a close. Don't forget there are fireworks coming. That's a souvenir all by itself. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. deliveries of the game.
Well, Morales gets up there and absolutely crushes a curveball from Nola. Nola having him down 0-2, battles back to 2-2. It's a curveball, almost hits it off his face in right field. Then in the 8th inning, second pitch from Adam Morgan from the right side. Hits a towering fly ball that barely gets over, but they do all count. It's his 16th multiple home run game, and that's of his career. And those are your W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
Cody Ashley's going to lead off as a pinch hitter against Duffy, who's going for his first ever complete game. 8 innings is a career high. By the way, it's the 3rd time that Morales has hit a home run right-handed and left-handed in a game. Cody Ashley pops one up, foul territory, third base side, and one quick out for Danny Duffy.
His 3rd time.
3rd time.
I remember when Brett Barbary did it one time, and everyone thought it was such a big thing, right side, left side.
Yeah. Howard Johnson of the Mets used to do it all the time. By the way, the Royals do not have a complete game this year. This would be their first. Ruiz the batter, and Carlos takes just a bit outside. 95 still. Carlos is 1 for 2. He walked, or excuse me, he was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning.
Yeah, we'll tell you something right now. We're on close to 100 pitches, 9th inning, 1 out. Duffy's still throwing 95.
Fastball, and it's 1-1. They do have somebody lingering out in the bullpen, as they have been for the last couple innings. It's Soria now who is lingering out on the pen. Hochevar was up before.
What the heck? Turn it loose, right?
3-1. Let it fly.
He did. He almost fell down.
He even got a kick out of that. You see the smirk on his face there. That was a Matt Stairs swing.
Twilight is descending here in Philadelphia. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Carlos hit by a pitch again. So he'll take his spot on first base.
Now, by no means is that on purpose, but that's back in the day baseball right there. You take a massive swing and almost fall down. Pretty good chance either you're going to get knocked down or get hit that next pitch.
Reminder coming up after the ball game, not only fireworks here at Citizens Bank Park, but also Phillies post-game live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Batalico will break down Aaron Nola's efforts and Danny Duffy's performance. Here from Pete Mackanin, only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. Tyler Goodell fouls it back. It's 0-1.
I agree with what you said. I mean, that wouldn't go unnoticed back in the day. I don't think that particular pitch right there to Carlos was because of the swing.
Oh, no,
he's made us look bad enough to.
No, that's a scouting report on Choots. You need to pitch underneath his hands. He's been hit twice, almost in the exact same spot.
Off the end of the bat foul, it remains 0-2. Been a nice mixture of pitches today for Duffy. We talked about the 95 that he's been hitting with his fastball in this inning. That was an 84-mile-an-hour changeup. And Goodell certainly helps his cause there. Actually, that looked like he called him out. He called him out on strikes. There are 2 outs here in the 9th inning.
Good difference in pitching, man. 84 to 95. You got to have 95. You got to have that fastball in the back of your mind all the time at 95.
Kind of punched him out like it was a strike called.
Carlos is going on that pitch. The pitch is inside. National Youth Orchestra, the U.S. Brass Ensemble, is getting ready to perform. They're out in Ashburn Alley. They will perform up until the fireworks are lit.
What do you think, about a half hour?
I think they estimated between 20 and 25 minutes after the game ended.
Ooh, ooh.
Over toward the hole, base hit it to left field. Ruiz around third, heading for home. He'll score. RBI single for Cesar Hernandez. It's a 6-2 ball game. And that may cost Danny Duffy the chance to close the game out. We'll see what Ned Yost decides to do. Here he comes. He'll make a pitching change. It's a career high in innings pitched. And there's the signal to the pen. 8 2/3 for Duffy here tonight. The RBI single by Cesar Hernandez makes it a 6-2 ball game. He probably knew the leash wasn't that long. And the Royals fans, and there are a lot of them, they may not know Mike Schmidt, but they know Daddy Duffy. They're cheering as he heads off.
They still don't have a complete game.
July 18th, it's all part of a 4-game series. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All 4 games are at night. 7:05 first pitch. Tickets to be purchased by going to Phillies.com. It is a beautiful night here in Philadelphia. We hope you're enjoying your 4th of July weekend wherever you are. Hope you're going to enjoy the fireworks as much as the folks here will in a little while. It'd be great if the Phillies could mount a comeback here. Jimmy Paredes, who's 0 for 1, will bat against Joakim Soria. Soria 3-3 with a 3.16 ERA. Cesar takes off from first. He'll get to second with defensive indifference.
Anybody ever pitched out and thrown that guy out?
I've never seen it. Off the end of the bat, down the left field line, and just foul. I don't know, would have made it a little interesting, huh? That is reviewable, but it looked like it was just foul. And a new bat for Paredes, and it's 0-2. Take a look. It was actually closer to the line than I thought. See the third base umpire Phil Cuzzy getting down on near a knee.
Well, it's funny, without that home run, with that last run they scored, one base runner from having a tying run at home plate.
Got to keep adding on, and that's what they did. They did most of their scoring in the second with that 5-run inning. And a foul tip hung on to by Perez, and the ball game is over. The Royals take game 2 of this series, 6-2, 8 2/3 from that guy right there, Danny Duffy. And he picks up his 4th victory of the season. He's our Chevrolet player of the game. Says thank you to his catcher Salvador Perez. 1 out away from getting the first complete game of the year for the Kansas City Royals. So the Phils win game 1, they lose game 2. They lose today by a final score of 6-2. Kedrys Morales certainly helped the cause of the Royals. We'll take a break and be back to Philadelphia right after this.